if you've ever struggled with creating custom patches or getting the right artwork from your clients and trying to vectorize that artwork, today I'm going to show you how to simplify that process if they don't have that kind of artwork or they don't have time to do it. Or even if you don't have time to do it, you're going to be able to get this done in seconds. So we're going to show you two different methods of how we do it. One is going to be a premium method, and one, obviously, if you have a laser engraver, it's going to be through Lightburn. You can also do this through other softwares like Adobe or even new versions of Affinity software, and I'm sure there's plenty of other free ones out there. If you know of them, post it in the comments. I'd like to know what you're using for custom tracing that is very high end, okay? So I'm going to show you the difference today between Lightburn and then vectorizer.ai. I've been using that company since AI started. Like, they were one of the first OG companies where you could start vectorizing JPEGs, PNGs, SVG files. So what we'll do is take a client's image that we have here. Now we look at this image here, it's 7x4. If we were to take this image as an example, expand it, we see how very pixelated this image is. Your clients will send you this stuff thinking that this is great. Like, if they look at it like this, they're like, oh, this is a beautiful image. Not really. Not when it comes to laser engraving. If I laser engrave this, it's going to look just like that. It's going to be so pixelated. So we kind of have to vectorize it to clean it up and give it really, really sharp lines. So we're going to do that now. In Lightburn, you can just right-click the image, trace the image, and you could just click OK. Now, one thing you got to look at is, okay, how is the shape of this thing looking? Like, this is going towards the left, but this should be following the shape of the radius of the blade, right? But this looks nice and okay, roundish. I'll tell you one thing, when it comes to the trace feature in Lightburn, I think it could use a lot of work. It does a great job, but it could use a little magic touch to it. But here's the thing, so I'm trying to mess with this here, but it's altering this over here as well. Now, obviously, we can adjust some things over here. We can, beef up the smoothness and whatnot, optimize this, and hopefully it makes some changes. But we see here, if I went like that, now it's nice and sharp, but then it's kind of round over here. So the thing is, it's trying to find the middle of what makes everything look good. You see, because it has this right here. So you might have to come through and mess with some of these things. If we come back here, now it's nice and straight, kind of ish, but then it's, following this. So it's one of those scenarios where you got to kind of pick and choose your poison, because it'll look good over here, but then it might not look good over here. And you might have to go through and tweak some things, but you got to kind of find the best of, that just right setting. It caught the detail in here a little bit. So I'd be like, well, this is about as good as it's going to get. But then I look at the letters over here, like this drops here, comes up here. All these letters look all funky. I mean, these letters are starting to look like something out of SpongeBob. So, sometimes you might want to come over here and kind of look at the text and see if it's fixing some things. But I don't want to get too into this, but I'm going to trace this. I'm just going to leave it at default. Like, this is default because I want to compare this default to the premium that is also default. Okay, so we'll hit OK. We now have a vectorized image over here, and we now can hit line or fill, but we could see exactly what it's doing. So there would be some tweaks that we would probably need to make just to make this look right compared to, the photo. So now let's go to the site that I like to use, and this is called vectorizer.ai. Okay, now vectorizer.ai, it's $9.99 a month. For me, it's a no-brainer. I put it on auto pay and I almost forget about it. But I use this constantly. All you got to do is drag your images here. Those JPEGs that your clients send you, those PNGs, those low-res images, you just drop them here. And now you hit download. But if you wanted to see what it did, you just zoom in. You can kind of see the detail of what it's going to do and go from there. You could adjust some things, some colors and whatnot, but when I hit download, now I've got all these file extensions I can download it in. I can even adjust the stroke lines, group by color, layers, whatever. So a lot of different things you can do there, but I can hit download and I can save that as an SVG. I already got that saved here, so I'm not going to save it. And then if you needed to do another image, just drag it here and it does it all over again. So I'm going to drop this over here. I'm going to get rid of the stroke that it has. And now we've got a vectorized image. Now I'm going to turn this red so we can compare. First off, let's go ahead and compare the G. Let's look at this G compared to this G. You can see the way it looks. Now let's look at these circles here. So we see that circle. We see this funky circle here. It's like a little oblongish. Then it's kind of decent over here. Then it gets really funky over here. And then what do we got down here? Another funky circle. See, this is where I'm saying Lightburn really needs to work on their tracing aspect, because it is a very important aspect of Lightburn. A lot of people use it and depend on it. They need to clean it up, because look at what vectorizer.ai did. Perfect circle there. Good looking circle there. Same there. Perfect circle. Good looking circle. And same here. This one might need a little tweak. You know, we would just take that and clean it up a bit. But even the blades, look at the way the blades look in the radius. Very clean. Maybe except for there, you could adjust that just a little bit, but that could be, you know, tiny little thing to fix. Same all the way down. Now let's go look at this one over here. We see this looks a little weird here on the fin. It's got a funky shape here. This looks somewhat decent. It kind of digs downward a little bit here, and it goes really flat here, like a straight line. Another straight line. It kind of goes upward here. So you see what I'm saying? This radius kind of has a mind of its own a little bit, and you didn't catch a lot of the details in the trees. Look at the trees here. Now, obviously, we could have gotten more detail in the trees if we messed with the threshold. But here we didn't have to mess with that, and it gave us a little more open details inside of the tree, just to kind of give the trees a little more separation. Now again, let's turn this red, and we're going to drag it over and look at the text. Let's start off with the S, the T. I don't know why these big old huge radiuses are here. That's kind of weird. The U kind of looks decent. The M definitely looks funky. It's like all curved over here, sharp here, but then it ramps over here. It's really weird. You don't see that over here. The P looks nice and clean here. Over here, it looks like something out of SpongeBob. So all this text down here that Lightburn did, it's absolutely crazy. Look at this G here, what it did to the G all over the place. Just funky directions and where it took this image. And then clean over here. We uploaded the same image, right? You saw what I did. Look at the R. Look at the I. It's ramping here, ramping here. The N is ramping, and then it does some funky shapes here. Straight, straight, and then the inner shape here versus the inner shape here. So you get what I'm saying. There's a benefit to premium sometimes. Okay, free isn't always great. Now, can you really dial in the trace settings on Lightburn? Absolutely. So maybe you need to spend some time, and maybe I myself need to spend some time, but right now I'm just comparing default to default. I really shouldn't have to adjust too many settings to get good results when this one did it for me. But obviously vectorizer.ai, they have their stuff dialed in. That's probably why I'm getting better results. So I might have to do that here in Lightburn. If you guys have any suggestions, post in the comments. I'd like to hear what your settings are for doing a trace like this. A simple vector like this would be really nice. But this would be a lot easier to clean up versus this one. So in my opinion, I would go with this one here and call it a day. But because it's now vectorized, you can do whatever you want with it, and it's not going to pixelate anymore. And that is what a vectorized image does. If I go like this, again, it's not pixelated, and that means you're going to get super clean lines when you're laser engraving this patch. All I got to do from this point is when you order patches from us, we just go through our patches. We take a very simple patch. Just grab this one real quick. That gets turned into a line. This over here is a fill. We would take this and we would make it smaller. Now, even though I made it smaller, again, no pixelation, super clean engraving in that case. So we would go like this right into the patch. If we wanted to then create some type of outer border, we could actually do that by just clicking on the patch itself, doing a border. And with borders, I usually go in about 6, hit OK, and then I click on the next one, the inside one that we just did. I hit offset again, and I take that to about a 3 or a 4. And then what we do is weld that together. And there is your customized patch. We can go like this, click on the view, and you can take this mock-up here, you can hit save image, and that will save it to your computer. So that's all you got to do, and then you can take this image here and send that to your client, and they now have a mock-up of what that patch is going to look like for your setup. Or what you can do is obviously highlight that, click File, click Export, and then you could save it as an SVG file. And now if you wanted to add color to that background or add the actual color of the leatherette, you could do that. So this is an option for you. But again, this is how simple it is to vectorize. There is a benefit to some paid programs. Now, obviously, this is just for vectorizing. You could use the same method if you're just doing vectorized images for DTF, for example. So if you're sending out prints for DTF printing to do your own transfers on t-shirts and even hats, you could use the same vectorizing format even with full color images. If you want those images as vectored Illustrator style images, you could do that. We'll eventually do another series on actual photos, on how to clean up photos, remove backgrounds, and clean up pixelation in that regards. That would be more for like DTF stuff. But in this video, this is going to be solely for using laser engraving machines and Lightburn software, but also getting you familiar with some tools that are out there for vectorizing. I will leave a link in the description to vectorizer.ai. That is my affiliate link, as well as a free background remover tool that you can use that's fantastic for just removing backgrounds. So there you go, guys. Quick video showing you how to do this. So hopefully this helps show the difference between the two. Not to say you can't find other free AI software that's out there that can do a better job. If there are some out there, again, post in the comments. I'd like to hear from you in regards to what you're currently using that is not maybe a paid software. So let's try to see if we can find some more that you recommend that are free, and then maybe I can do a video on those and compare them to what I'm currently using now. All right, guys, till next video, I'm James. Peace out. Don't forget to check out LaserHyde.com. Later.